Alright there, singing world. This video will offer Italian pronunciation help for the aria O del mio dolce ardor from the 24 Italian aria book. We will explore the tips and tricks to help you sing your aria without accent and also discuss the proper open and closed vowels, the non-phonetic things such as phrasal doubling and assimilation. But before we do that, please direct your attention to the description of this video below, where I have the entire text of the aria written out with those non-phonetic things. All the open vowels are marked, the phrasal doublings, and the assimilation. Also, there are various links to my websites, my coaching website, my symphony website, and also my Facebook fan page. Please check them out if you have a moment. Also, there's a link to the pronunciation dictionary, the very important resource, the RAI Dizionario. So if you follow the link below, you can go to that site. Also, you can type into search engine RAI, D-O-P, R-A-I-D-O-P, and it should come up. What this site does is if you type in any word, it'll tell you whether the word is open or closed. There's also a playback button with a native Italian speaker reading the word. And also what I love about it most is it acknowledges the existence of non-phonetic things such as phrasal doublings and assimilation. It'll have whole lines with those doublings indicated in those assimilation, and it has a native speaker with the playback button reading those lines. It's great. I've used it for years. It's been around for a long time. So RAI DOP, check it out. Okay, so what we will do with this text for O del mio dolce ardor, we will go through word by word. We'll go very, very detailed into every single word, every single thing that happens, all the tips to make your Italian without accent, and I will also go over all of the mistakes you can make. Okay, so here we go. First we'll go word by word, and then we'll read whole lines later. So the first word is the interjection O. Okay, and this can either be pronounced open or closed. There are very few words in Italian that would present you with a choice, but this one does. The more common is the open, O. The less common is O, but it could be pronounced either way. Okay, so let's go over open and closed O. Closed O is just like the O in oats without the glide. Open O is like aw, like AW without the glide. And what I mean by glide is when we speak English with something not Italian, often the vowels are not as pure as Italian. So my jaw will move when I say oats, and when I say aw, my jaw will close. It'll move to the side. It'll kind of chew the vowel. Italian just stays. So when the jaw stays in the same position, it means that the vowel remains pure, and that's it. Okay, so to get a pure vowel, that's it. So the word O is also a strong monosyllable. So what I mean by strong monosyllable is there are one-syllable words in Italian, and this is very common. These one-syllable words cause the next word to start with a double consonant. So the word affects the next word. So if you look at the way I have it written out, it's O del. So there's a double D starting del. And the way I do a double D is I go up to the D and then I stop phonation. I go to say the D, I don't say it, and then I say it. Okay? It doesn't mean that I say two Ds, right? So if I were to do the two words together, it's like this. O, stop phonation. O, go up to the D, don't say it. O del. Okay? So I don't in any way do two Ds. I don't go O del, right? I go O del, and it's the space that makes the expression, right? So if I wanted a stronger double D, I don't make a stronger D. I make a more of a space. Okay, depending on the time I have in the music, how much expression I want to give to it. Okay, in this case, it's the beginning of the aria. You want to sing legato. You just want to have just enough for spice. O del. Okay, just a little bit like that. Okay, so DEL in Italian is closed. So E is the other non-phonetic vowel in Italian, right? So E can either be pronounced as A, as in hey, or as in head. And again, in English, both of those have a glide, so that's not the most precise way of doing it. So hey, without the glide, see, the jaw stays. Without the glide, not head, right? So del is a closed E. Now, let's keep going. Mio. So the O is a closed O, and the accent is on the E, and the possessive pronoun. Mio. Next. Dolce. Dolce. So it's a closed O, and it's a closed E. Dolce. And we're going to go over why in a bit when we get to another line. When we get to a 3-syllable word, we're going to go over the rules for open and closed vowels and what formulas we can grasp to help us with this. But for now, let's just memorize the word. So dolce, closed, O, closed E. Notice that the L goes into the ch and the L phonates. Dolce. Going on. Ardore. So that's the full word. The full word has an E at the end. Ardore. Ardore. So it's a closed O. We have not had one open vowel yet in this aria, if you've noticed, right? So the R rolls. Now let's go over the rule for rolling R's. So R is rolled when it touches a consonant. That's all it needs. So if an R touches a consonant, it rolls. If it's surrounded by vowels, it is flipped. So the full form of this word, ardore, with the E in the end, which we don't see here, the second R would flip because it's surrounded by vowels. Okay, so now that we've gotten rid of the E, the final R, when we're going to just stop, that R will also roll. So final R, when there's a rest after it, or when there's another consonant, again, if it touches a consonant, it's all it needs, it will roll. So in this form, because we have a rest afterwards, ardor. And in no way do we let the O get influenced by the R. It's not door, right? What we do in English, our vowels get influenced by R's. The R, in fact, is its own thing. So if you practice A, O, R, ardore, right? Ardore, ardor. Okay, there we go. Let's go on. The next one, Bramato. So the O at the end is closed, and the R rolls because it touches the B. Bramato. So now we also have a single M. So the big mistake you can make in this word is do a double M. So let's go over the difference between single M and double M. Here's single M, Bramato. Here's double M, Bramato. So what is the difference? Double M, when I bring my lips together, I allow my vocal cords to phonate while my lips are together. Single M, I do not allow that. So double M, Bram, my vocal cords are phonating. That makes double M. Bramato, there's no double M. Okay? So how do you practice? If you're getting the note double M, you're singing double M or single M, you just practice the vowels. Ah, right? So notice I did 2 ahs, but I did not do a glottal. I didn't do ah. I did ah. So I pretended that there was a second ah, right? Now the feeling of that ah is the same as single M. Bramato. So that's one way. Okay, you can really practice that. The vowels actually double, and then the consonants are single. Now, we also have a single T in this, and that's the other mistake people can make. They can say Bramato and make a double T. So how do we make a double T? It's pretty much the way I described making the double D in the first line. Right? D's and T's are the same, except for one's voiced and one's not. The D is voiced, the T is not. Right? So double T, if it were double T, I would go Bramato, and I would stop phonation. Brama, go up to the T, don't say it, do, double T, right? So as long as there's stop in phonation, it's double T, and you'll get a note that you're singing that wrong, right? So Bramato, I don't allow the T to stop the phonation. Okay, let's go on because we have a real double T in the next. Oh, so we have oggɛtto, oggɛtto. So here we have our first stressed vowel that is open, and that's the E in this word. The two O's are closed. So we have a lot to talk about yet, a lot of formulas. So let's get the formulas out of the way, as many as we can, and then we can go faster. So a lot of people come to me and they're confused about open and closed vowels and a little bit overwhelmed, thinking they have to look up every single vowel, every single word. Well, the good news is there are accented syllables and there are unaccented syllables in your words, right? So you only have to worry about the accented syllables. Those are the only ones that can be open and closed. So the good news is all of the unaccented syllables are closed. So they're either O or A. So in this word, if we look at it, we know the two O's are closed because the accent is on the penultimate syllable, the second to last syllable, oggɛtto. So the accent is on the getto. So that's the only thing that can be open. So those two O's are not on the stress of the word, they are closed. So that takes care of almost over 2/3 of all your vowels. You know they're closed. Okay? So the bad news is the stressed vowels have no rules. There are a few formulas for verb endings and things like that, and nouns and adjectives, but other than that, you have to memorize. And not only that, if you want to memorize those formulas, you can memorize the formulas. But every stressed E or O must be memorized in a word, right? So we know that this one is open, oggɛtto, and we just have to memorize it, okay? So now we have a double G and we have a double T, oggɛtto. So notice there's a stop and phonation for both of those. The G is like DG. Again, when I speak, I can say oggɛtto, and I can shorten those vowels before the double consonants. When I sing, I have to do something different. So here's a big difference between lyric diction, the sung Italian, and spoken Italian. So going up to the double G, I must have a long vowel. Oggɛtto, oggɛtto. And I must have a long vowel before the double T. So I go up to the G, I phonate, I stop phonation, I go up to the DG, I don't say it, and then I say it. Oggɛtto. I go up to the double T, same thing, I don't say it. I in no way make two consonants to make a double consonant. Okay, let's go on. Laura. So here's another phenomenon in Italian, is that in Italian you must not harmonize A ever, and you must never harmonize U. So it doesn't do like as we do in English, Laura, where there's an at the end, A, right? So it's A. So those two A's, you compare them, and then you have to go all the way to U. Aura, and back to A. Okay, so that's that word, Laura. Next, K. So K is a strong monosyllable. So we briefly touched on strong monosyllables. Monosyllables can either be strong or weak. Now, the weak ones are actually easier to memorize because there are fewer. You can count them on two hands, the weak monosyllables. The strong monosyllables are the ones that cause the next thing to double. So here, I've written out this line twice. The reason is that you have two strong monosyllables in a row. Both K and tu are strong monosyllables. So the first way to do it is that the K doubles the T, right? So K, tu. See, so double T just as we've done before. Okay, the second way to do it is that the tu doubles the R, because tu is also a strong monosyllable. Laura che tu respiri. Or you could say the first one, Laura che tu respiri, with a flipped R. Okay, so the reason for this is when you have two strong monosyllables in a row, you have to pick one. You can't have two in a row. You can't do two doublings in a row. It becomes very vulgar. It becomes very inelegant, ugly, right? Laura che tu see, too much. Already, your ear will reject that. Che tu or che tu respiri. Okay, let's go on. Next word, respiri. So the accent is on spi. So we know that the E is closed. And I'm going to say this over and over and over again. So we always know that the unstressed syllables are A or O. Respiri. Respiri. Now, notice how I'm separating it. Here's another difference between lyric diction and spoken Italian. Spoken Italian, I can hiss the S when I speak. I can say respiri, and it doesn't matter, right? When I sing and say there are 3 notes on respiri, I have to make sure that the first note is all re, and the whole second note, the S doesn't start until I start that note. Respiri, not respiri, as in speech. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for you. Try it out. You'll see immediately that your legato is better. S can be very ugly when you sing, depending on how you do it. And if you delay it to the next note, it's always better. Let's go on. Alfin. So, ending N and L that touches a consonant will phonate. Alfin. Okay, going on. Respiro. So we know that the E and the O in this word are both closed because the accent again is on the accent of the syllable is the E vowel, right? Respiro. Let's go on. Ovunque. Now, here we have another N assimilation. We have an N assimilation, right? It's an N going into the Q. Ovunque. So you think about where you're going to say que, right? Que. So it's a K sound that's very close to voiced. So Italian K is not like that. It's not K with air through it. It's more like ga, ka, right? So if you go ga, that's the voiced, G is the voiced cousin to K. So it's the same position as K except for it's voiced. Now if you find just that spot where it becomes unvoiced, ga, ka, not ka, where there's a lot of air through it. So ovunque, so the que is the same place in that kind of voice place. Well, what happens to the N before that? It goes with the middle of the tongue, not ovunque. See, with the tip of the tongue, and then I have to do the middle of the tongue. It's basically the middle of the tongue, ovunque. Okay, so that's an assimilation of N into the next consonant. And in fact, we will find as we go through this, N does whatever the next consonant. It will assimilate to the next consonant. Let's go on. Il, straightforward enough, I-L. I is always E. Guardo. So the O is in the unstressed, unaccented position, so it is closed. The accent is A, right? Guardo. The R rolls, it touches a consonant, right? I'm just going to go over and over. Through repetition, we memorize everything, right? So the way I want to do it is if you just do one video with me, you'll have all the principles, at least have all the principles that are covered, right? You do 4 or 5 of my videos, you will be an expert. Especially I will do it every single time, right? So guardo, rolled R, touching the D, closed O. Io. Now io is usually on 1 note, and it usually has to be sung on 2 notes, right? Io. And in this case, in this aria, I think you have do, io, giro, all on 1 note, right? So you have 3 vowels on 1 note. Giro. So here we have an R surrounded by vowels. It is flipped, right? So we already did rolled R. Flipped R is like doing D, right? Gido, giro, but with the tip of the tongue, right? If you were to do D, Gido, your tongue is a little flatter. But if you did D with the tip of your tongue, that's rolled R, right? Giro, giro. And rolled R is just that D rolled, right? Giro would be incorrect in this word, right? It's not rolled. It's flipped. So you have to say guardo io giro. Guardo io giro. This the io has to get enough attention, right? Let's go on. Le. So le is a weak monosyllable. Okay, so it does not double tue. Le, so it's le tue, 1 T. If it were a strong monosyllable, it would go le tue, right? And I hear this one. right? A lot of people do double just because we get excited. When we get excited, we accent consonants in English, right? The Italians accent vowels. That's a very important principle, right, to realize. Le tue. So tue is like mio. A lot of possessive pronouns have the first vowel is accented more than the second. Vaghe. Vaghe is the next word. So GHE is hard. The H is there to make the G hard, right? GE would be J, right? GHE is gay. Vaghe. Sembianze. So the accent of this word, the stress is on bianze, right? Bianze. Sembianze. So the E, the first E is closed. And notice I underline, right? Because when we usually say sembianze, and you think about how you'll go out of line when we're not closing that vowel. Going on, amore, single M, single R, closed E. Not amore. That's the typical mistake I will hear. Somebody will double the M and double the R, or even worse, amore with an open O. So it's amore, amore. Okay, closed O, single M. So now you have the IN, and if you notice, I've changed it to that funny IPA symbol that looks like an M, and that's because we have another assimilation. So this is a different one. So me is it starts with an M and it's a closed E. When you say me, you put your lips together. So if you have an N preceding the M, the N assimilates to the lips. So it does this. Ime. So what just happened? Watch very closely. Ime. So the N never went in my mouth. It stayed on my lips and just went by without anybody noticing, right? Ime. It just snuck it in there, right? So what happens is you stay in one line. You keep you stay legato. You don't have any shadow vowels. So what would happen if I were to do that as IN in my mouth and try to sing legato? This is what would happen. Iname. So let's describe the process. I do the tip of my tongue to make the N. In. Right? I try to sing legato, but I have to release the tongue to come back and put my lips together to make me. Iname. And that's what happens. I end up with the shadow vowel. So it's less desirable, let's say, right, than the ime, right? Because you will not lose legato doing it that way. Italians do this all the time in speech and are not aware of it for the most part, unless you write for the DOP. Apparently, the DOP they realize, right? So ime, right? So not iname. There's no way I can do that fast. It slows me down. It takes me off my track. So that's what you want. You want the M before the M, right? So what if can I do it as an M and do it wrong? Absolutely. What happens is if I allow my vocal cords to phonate on that, and I go, all right, I learned this new trick, amore in me, and I stay there too long, it's going to call attention to itself. The other rule in Italian is anything that's good, if you exaggerate it, it will become inelegant. It will become vulgar, right? So you don't want to do that. You don't want to double M, right? Amore in me. So no. Amore in me. It has to go by so fast, you don't even notice it. Okay? There was a lot on that assimilation, but that's the second hardest assimilation to do in this aria. Let's go on. Dipinge. Dipinge. So, the N again, the N in this one will sing, right? It's E-E-A. The final E is closed because it's not stress. We've had il, we've had mio. Let's go on to pensiɛro. So that's the full word, pensiɛro. And I'm exaggerating the close and the opens. They're not this different, just so we hear it in this context. So first E is unstressed, it's closed. A lot of E's with semivowels preceded by semivowels are open, and this is no exception. So pensiɛr, it does not rhyme with chair. We do that a lot in English. We do pensiɛr. That's a good generic mistake to make, right? You can't let that R influence that E. Pensiɛr. Going on. Si finge. So finge, pinge. Notice I linger on that end. I'm getting itchy a little bit. If you do it right, you get itchy on your nose, right? We've already had lei. It's a weak monosyllable, but più is not. Più is a strong monosyllable. So notice the next word, lliɛte, it will be double L. Più lliɛte, and it's an open E and a single T. We love to double T after an open vowel, right? So it's very easy for us to do lliɛte. No. So that's why a lot of times people will sing lliɛte, because it's way easier to sing a single T after a closed vowel for Americans, right? Lliɛte. But there are no rules. You can have an open vowel before a single consonant. You can have an open vowel before a double consonant. You can have a closed vowel before a single consonant. You can have a closed vowel before a double consonant. There are no rules. Okay. Più lliɛte. Okay, going on. Speranze. The E's are closed. The A is the accent. We know that all of the unstressed are closed. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. If you've seen diction books, they have opened all the endings, namely the Nico Castell book, right? You have all open endings, right? Also, Evelina Colorni's book, Singer's Italian, the green book that you probably had in 101, she tends to open the endings also, right? But this comes from the turn of the 20th century. When they started to record Italian singers, they noticed that they stretched the closed vowels like shouting, right? They noticed that that they tended to open them, right? Not to and aw, but more like a, oh, still closed, right? A, but it had the stretch of shouting. So then they would write those open at the on the endings. In no way should you sing a or aw. In fact, it's impossible, right? When you're singing to go speranze, right? No. And over the years, I've had a lot of success persuading people who have sung those open to switch to closed. And immediately they realize how much easier it is and how they've been struggling to sing them open. Okay? So try it. Let me know how it goes. I'm always interested. I've never heard anybody really say it's harder to sing them closed. Okay, let's go on. A is a strong monosyllable. It is the word for and it is closed. The word for is also spelled with a single E, but it has an accent, and that is open, a, and it is also a strong monosyllable. So the word for and, a, will make a double L. So you say nnel. Any L is closed. Not nnel, but nnel. Going on. Desio. The accent is on the E vowel, and this is a stressed E, not a semivowel, right? Desio. The O is actually the semivowel in this case, right? Technically. Desio. Okay, and close the E because the accent is on the I vowel, right? Going on. We already know K is a strong monosyllable, so it's going to double così. K, così. Double K, same rule as double T. You go up to it, you elongate the vowel, you go up, you stop phonation, you go to say the K, you don't say it. Che così. Okay, così is a word because a strange stressed word because it ends on the ultimate syllable. A lot of words do. They're not the most common. The most common is the penultimate stress, così. Going on. Mempie, closed stress E, not mempie. Mempie, closed E and closed E. Going on. Il, we already know that. Pɛtto. This is a very dangerous word because if you double the T, it means breast or soul, right? things that happen in your chest, right? Your heart, right? Pɛtto, and all things associated with, right? And if you single T, it means fart, right? So you definitely want to sing double T in that word, right? So pɛtto. Next, this is a stressed closed E. It does not rhyme with chair. It's not cerco. It's cerco. If you want to do it, break it up, right? Cerco. Cerco. The word te is a strong monosyllable. So you have a ton of time. It doesn't really matter in this context, right? Because you have big breaths. The piano answers you, right? Cerco te, chiamo te. But do you notice what I did? Cerco te, chiamo te. I can double a consonant for 30 seconds as long as I go up to it and I don't say it, right? Cerco te, chiamo te. Going on. Spɛro. Open E on the stressed, closed O on the unstressed. Spɛro. One R. A, remember, is a strong monosyllable, right? A, and it's closed. Ssospiro. And notice I separated it for singing. Ssospiro. Very, very, very good voice teacher in New York who taught a lot of great singers. She would have her singers do this every single spe. So spa, ro, so, spiro. Very good technique. You get every single. You just do it one thing per syllable. You get all your syllables straight instead of mixing them up, right? Very good way to practice. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's do full lines and try to find the rhyme, try to find the arc of the phrase, right? How you sing long lines is all not only your breath and your legato, but your mind. So as your mind finds the arc, the up and the down in the Italian, that will help you sing long phrases. So let's try it. O del mio dolce ardor, Bramato oggɛtto, l'ora che tu respiri, Alfin respiro. So that's one down. Ovunque il guardo io giro, le tue vaghe sembianze, Amore me dipinge. Il mio pensiɛr si finge, le più lliɛte speranze. So sembianze rhymes with speranze. E nel desio che così m'empie il petto, cerco te, chiamo te, spɛro e ssospiro. If you enjoyed this video, please like, please feel free to comment, please share, and please subscribe to my channel. And as always, please remember to visit your coach, and we will see you on stage at the opera.